is AFC's July's edition of our first Thursdays. And just like you can see on your screen, today we are going to be deep diving into employing data analytics in agriculture. I'm certain a lot of people probably wondering, what does data analytics have to do with agriculture? Well, you are in for a show, so sit tight and join us. Don't stay away. Take your notes, your jotters, your writing materials. Invite your friends who you think this topic would be of immense benefit to them while we go on this ride. And trust me, there is a lot to learn from our really esteemed speakers for today. So before we go right in, I will be sharing our agenda for today. We'll be having the welcome address. I'm already welcoming you. So as you're coming in, just type in your name and say hi to somebody, reach out to people. First Thursday is also an opportunity to network with people and find people within your community and space. We'll be sharing opportunities for you, definitely telling you about African food change makers, and then the opportunity to stand to get by joining our hub. And then we'll go into the meat of the conversation, which is our speaker sessions. And then you'll also have the opportunity to ask questions and answers. So if you have any questions now or when our speakers are presenting, do write them on your notes or put it in the chat box, and we'll definitely take our time to attend to it. And then next would be connecting with AFC. We'd get to tell you what it means to be in the AFC community and also the features of our community, which includes our marketplace. And then finally would end with a next step and closing remarks. And then, okay, so would love to meet you. Kindly introduce yourself in the chat box. I'm going to be going to the chat box to actually say hello and give a shout out to the people who will be there. Your name, the name of your agribusiness, and definitely don't forget to add your country. Please rep your country. I'm from Nigeria, so I'm going to be in the chat box. I'm going to say, my name is Anna Mambola. I am from Nigeria, and I work with African food chain makers currently in the city of Abuja. So kindly connect with like-minded entrepreneurs. You never know the relationships you can build from here. And then pulse check, would love to know how you're doing. As I'm smiling, I'm excited, I'm eagerly ready to learn. So drop in the chat box. How do you feel like? Are you happy? Are you stressed? You understand what it means to be an agripreneur, what a day-to-day life feels like. So share with us in the comments, in the chat box rather, how you are feeling like. I'm going to be going to the chat box now to hear from you and connect with you also. I look forward to connecting with people here. Okay, I can already see Janet Kitukuyu. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Janet. I would love to know what country are you from, Janet, and then what's the name of your business. I can see Inameka Oru from Nigeria, and he works with Society for Planet and Prosperity and also the National Assembly. Wow. And definitely, Inameka is a sharp person. He has dropped his email. So if you want to connect with him, please do well to reach out to Inameka, especially from from Nigeria. I can see, Janet had just told me that she's from, and her company is Kilimo Plus Solution. Is amazing to meet you. I can also see Dorcas Ayodeji from Nigeria. I'm seeing someone from Uganda. She's a student. Shout out to you, Omal. And she's saying she loves agriculture and so much, especially animal production. Great. And I can see an AFC ambassador. Hello, Victor. He's the managing director of Ayolin Agro Enterprise. And he went further to tell us he's from Cross River. He's giving us the specific location. And we are excited to connect with you. So we'll just go right to our poll. So would here to the same question, we'd love to know where you're from. Are you an AFC member? So I believe that the poll would be popping up on your screen right now. So we'll give a minute or two. Yes, we'll give a minute or two for you to answer the question. What region of Africa are you from? Would love to know. Are you an AFC member? And then which of this applies to you? Those are the questions, some of the questions you can see on your screen. So I want to have as many people fill in this poll. It's just going to take you less than a minute of your time. We'd love to hear where you're from. And then while I give a minute or two for people to answer the poll, I would still go back to the chat box and greet and say hello to all the amazing persons who are joining us today. I can see this is Wuna, training engineer, DGI Academy, Dubai. Welcome, Wuna. I hope it's cool at Dubai. It's cool over there. And Marceline, hello to you, or hi, Marceline. She said she's an AFC ambassador and the founder of MK22. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, from Puerto Novo of Republic of Congo, and she is into poultry farming. And I can see Jude Ayingo from Nigeria. He's a resident of Cameroon. It is amazing to see all these amazing people here. We are excited to have you join us. We are elated and thrilled. I think I am short of the adjectives to use right now. So I think we've gotten about 35% feeling this. Now it's 39. So let's make it to at least 50% of those on the call should we kindly appeal that you fill in this poll, and would move on to the next segment of this conversation. Great, amazing. Thank you so much for your responses. So moving on, would like to share about AFC. I understand the number of persons on the call are already familiar with what we do at AFC, but there are new people here because this is an opportunity where we meet a lot of persons. So would love to know about them. But before then, I would love to share the results from the poll. I can see most of our attendees today are from West Africa, amazing, followed by East Africa, Southern Africa, and Central Africa. And then it's like a 50-50 thing. Majority of the persons here are AFC members. For those who are not AFC members, please do well to stay on the call, and you would know the amazing opportunities you stand to get to becoming a member. Trust me, I'm almost certain that those on the call who are members can testify to this. And I can see 71% of those on the call are already working in the agribusiness. That is amazing to know. And then most of the people here are here to gain insights to the topic. So this is going to be an amazing ride. So I'll go right into sharing what AFC is about. So at AFC, we are a non-profit organization committing to nourishing Africa. And then we believe that small and medium-sized enterprises are the lifeblood of the ecosystem. In every community, we are certain that SMEs are the ones who are driving the economy of literally all the countries in the world. And then these enterprises are visionary, they are dynamic, they are innovative. And then summing it up, that is what we call them, change makers. It's in our name, African food change makers. And then these persons who make up our communities, we call them change makers, because at the various level at the value chain in which they are making immense impact in their own way. And then through AFC, we enable these African entrepreneurs to start and scale up resilient and sustainable agribusinesses that are nourishing the world and Africa as well. What we do is we have a community of persons, and then in this community, it's like home away from home. And in the community, we share opportunities, data. You also get to have visibility and recognition for your work, as well as learning and trainings. We cannot overemphasize the importance of learning and always developing yourself within this space. And then our mission is, just like I've earlier said, is to start and scale up these resilient and sustainable agribusinesses. And our vision is we want to see 1 million successful and sustainable African agribusinesses that are transforming the food system and are recognized and respected across the globe. You are one of them. And like they say, preach the gospel. We want 1 million agribusinesses that are transforming Africa and taking Africa to the globe. So next section is we're going to go to the opportunities for you. Like I earlier said, we have a lot of opportunities at AFCs: funding, events, online courses, capacity building and training opportunities in which you can utilize and maximize for your agribusinesses. So I'll take you through a few of them, but do well to go to afc.org/funding to get much more. There are a lot of opportunities there that it's almost inexhaustible. So if you want to see more of these opportunities, just run quickly to our website and you would see more beyond the 3 opportunities you are currently seeing on your screen. So we have the 2024 Ayute Africa Challenge. This is for our members and community persons and new members, potential members too, who are in Kenya. And then the deadline is 7th of July. 7th of July is like 4 days away. So do well to use this opportunity. And then we have the Tribe Global Impact Challenge 2024. And the good thing is it is open to all countries. And then the deadline is 12th of July. So this is less than a week from now. Next is the capacity building. If you have been a participant of the BRACE program or the BRACE program has been of benefit to your agribusiness, please, I want you to just say in the comment section, brace up, brace up. I'm going to go and check that in the comment section. Brace is one of the many programs you get to you get to benefit from being part of our community. And then it is an intensive capacity building program that's supporting agri-SMEs within the face of climate change. It's going to build your resilience, equip you with the tools and knowledge to develop strategies to adapt and mitigate to the impact of climate change. And then because we want as many people to be part of the BRACE program, the deadline was initially last month, but then we've extended it to 10th of July. So if you know anybody that is in your community that can benefit from the BRACE program, and if you've taken the BRACE program, share the link, invite as many agribusinesses to apply for this program. And then we have the AICCRA Zambia Cohort 2, but then this is specifically for our community members in Zambia, and then the deadline is 19th of July. Moving on is the event section, Africa Food Show Kenya. I would love to be in that event. So if you're in Kenya, do not miss this trade show. And then we have the 5th West Africa LBG Expo, which will be holding in Senegal, and another African Agribusiness Incubator Conference and Expo in Zambia. So to get more opportunities, events, go to afchub.org//event, and you'll see events that are within your countries also. I get that we're limited to events from Kenya, Senegal, and Zambia, but there are much more events across your country that would be on the site and you can attend. And then finally is our training and workshop opportunities that we have here for you. We have the Farmer Field School Workshop by the Skill for Africa Training Institute on sustainability, and then we have the Agri-Food System Analysis by the Joannex Agriculture. So rush to afchub.org/training, and then you would get a lot more of these trainings and workshops, both paid and free workshops. And then we are now in the midst of our discussion for today. I already know that we have people who, according to our poll, who are in this to this month's first Thursdays because they want to learn and gain insights about this topic. But before I introduce our speaker for today, I'm going on to the meeting chat box to see those who agree to brace up. And then I can see Utebe Babalola, he's saying brace up. And then Onia Julius is giving a thumbs up. So I believe those are brace participants that have benefited from the brace program. And then I'm seeing when Mbe Omakuye, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, she's also saying brace up. Great. It means that we have a number of persons on the call who have immensely benefited from the brace program, and we are thrilled and always excited when we see our programs or initiative having this level of impact in the lives of our participants. It brings us nothing but joy. So moving on to the meat of today's conversation. On our topic today, I would be introducing our first speaker. Our first speaker for today's session is Boyega Olorunfemi, who is the project lead for Society for Planet and Prosperity, and he's also the principal consultant of Enviromax Global Resource Limited. He has worked on several high-profile sub-regional national and international projects with interventions on the circular economy, green recovery, sustainable development goals, energy transition, as well as climate change policy development. His career spanned almost a decade in banking, mortgage, and finance sectors. Before his engagement in sustainability, research and development, and consulting in the last 7 years, he is a member of the African Circular Economy Network Nigerian chapter, a member of NESG Sustainable Commission Policy Group. He's a trained climate reality leader, a research fellow, CCTD, AEU, FUN, AI. Boyega is an alumnus of the prestigious University of Lagos, United States System Staff College, and Lagos Business School. He has contributed to remarkable sustainability projects such as the Green Recovery Project, the inaugural Circular Business Platform Lagos, and the Mobilizing Investments for Clean Energy in Nigeria, as well as the Lagos Circular Economy Hotspot 2023 Lagos State, and not the least, the Holland Circular Hotspot Project. Ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding virtual clap, can we welcome Mr. Boyega Olorunfemi to the call? It's really amazing, and we're privileged to have you on the call, sir. So, and then our second speaker for today. So, Mr. Boyega is going to. I would leave the room, give the room to Mr. Boyega to give his presentation, and then we'll bring up our second speaker for today to also give his presentation, and then we'll jump into the question and answer segment. So, Mr. Boyega, over to you. So kindly confirm if you are on the call, and we look forward to learning from you.
Greetings, everyone. I'm here and live on the call. So I'll just go straight to share. Just give me a minute to access my screen. Just a minute. Just a minute. I think I should have done this earlier. Okay. Oh, okay. Can you see my screen, if I may confirm that?
Yes,
can you
I
confirm
can
you can see my screen? Okay, I'm trying to take this to the slideshow. All right, so we just dive straight into the topic. So greetings, everyone, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to be part of this program. I'm delighted to also be facilitating today's session, and also excited that we have participants from across Africa and beyond. So I'm just going to take the context from here that employing data analytics in agriculture helps in transforming the agricultural landscape worldwide. And I'm sure a lot of us know that. And then we're aspiring to see what this brings to our respective practices And of course, data analytics help in enhancing decision-making and increasing efficiency. And at the same time, it enables farmers to analyze vast amount of data from various sources through satellite imagery, so sensors, weather forecasts, growth sensors, and the likes. And at the same time, it allows for precise monitoring and then management of crops, optimizing water usage, fertilizer application, and pest control. Of course, I like to also let us know that as much as almost 60% of arable lands are still in Africa, and then agriculture contributes to more than 35% of the entire Africa GDP. So this is actually an important topic to discuss. And for me, I would come more largely from the policy side, having contributed to a number of conversations around enhancing and upgrading Africa food system, more importantly within the Nigeria space. Now, for global practice, I mean, the picture is more showing what we see, what we know that happens around, and then I just picked examples from what we see as precision farming in the United States, the use of GPS, drones, and then satellite imaging for crop monitoring and management. I mean, some of these things have also been improved upon right from our own side. And this has also led to increase in crop yields and then reduced water consumption. Why this is important is we still see, I don't have the statistics, but you imagine that Africa imports food, despite the fact that we have all of the potentials and working for us. But what are we not getting right? So today would also provide insight as to what it is that we're not getting right, where the gaps are, and then what are those different tools that we also begin to make great use of in order to drive increased yields and also enhance productivity within the agri sector. Now, I also picked the livestock monitoring in Australia, the use of Internet of Things, sensors, and data analysis for real-time monitoring of animal health and behavior of plants, improve animal welfare and reduce disease outbreak. One other thing that I have seen in Nigeria being deployed is to also see how Internet of Things has been used to also monitor health of plant. And the team that worked on this project have also recorded some level of success in how precise these data are when explored or when engaged to also visit where those plants are. So we have seen advances. We have seen integration of global practices within also the local practices. So I'm also going to share with us some local practices, the M-Farm in Kenya, that is mobile-based platform for farmers to access market prices. And I also think in Nigeria as well, AgroData, Cellulant, Hello Tractor, AgroMore, at some point Farm Crowdy and the likes were also mobile platform where farmers have been connected together, and also where farmers have also been connected to agri institutes, for them to also build capacity and then have sharing sessions regarding seasonal fluctuations and then what needs to be done. Of course, the Ghana's Cocoa Association using digital platform for cocoa farmers to access training, inputs, and then market information, improve crops quality, and then increase the farmers' income. And one thing that is underlining all of these practices is the fact that it improves efficiency, and of course, profits are better, better managed, and of course, defined within the entire agri value chain. Now, I said we're going to be talking about gaps within the African agriculture. Finance for me is very key, and it opens the door to a whole lot of items that can be under this particular category of my presentation. Of course, because we're also leveraging on data analytics, We have seen instances where there are limited access to data and analytic tools. There are instances where the data does not even exist. At the same time, we have also seen insufficient infrastructure. I mean, internet connectivity, hardwares. There are areas where can you confirm if you can hear me? Can you confirm you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm having some phone interruption here. Okay, thank you. So I mean, I was talking about how where even if you make available hand phones or Android phones to farmer, but by the time they get to their farms, they are unable to access these tools, and that means there's a break. There's going to be a break. There's going to also be a gap in connecting with them and ensuring that they have access to why they are provided for them in the real sense. Limited technical expertise and training. I mean, if you look at the entire, looking at the global practices and then local practices, you see there's still gap in how much of these practices that we want to also domesticate. So we haven't even been able to come up with our own, solution. We are still importing this solution. And that means every other items we need on this solution has still been imported. So I think for me, some of the takeaway for me would be when exactly are we going to begin to have our own solution? Because some of our farmers are also imbued with native intelligence and they know how to actually adapt to every weather condition. So how do we integrate this intelligence into some of these new thinking that is unraveling across the world? Opportunities for data analytics address this gap. So how do we address when we don't have what it takes to even identify them? So we have to also be very, very, very deliberate in ensuring that we put enabling policy in place that would help us attract the required finance to establish all of these items. Of course, climate change induced fluctuations remains a gap because and that will also come back to us in the area of insufficient infrastructure. And when we don't have this infrastructure in place, and then we have people exposed to vulnerabilities of climate change, we are not able to make a good account. And all of these are leading to loss of crop yield in and around Africa. And then we are not able to solve our food security. Sorry, I was trying to. Okay. So next will be, successful data application in Africa. Like I have also said, we have seen successful application of data across Africa, and I still provide the M-Pesa and agri payment, which also put Kenya within the space as being data enabled. At the same time, we also one of the key insight into this is to see what is driving this inclusion, and then so are they also locally driven? Are there any interest as being expressed or being expanded here? But for whatever it is, we have seen it revolutionize how payment can be made easier, and a lot other countries are also imbibing this and then integrating it into the payment system. It increases efficiency and then also reduced cost of transaction. And of course, these let's call it fintech or mobile app-based transaction are also beginning to put some pressure under the money deposit banks to say, hey, does this create any any disadvantage for financial security in the continent. I mean, I look forward to what the central bank governors will come up with as the years goes by, because we see more transactions going on these apps compared to the real sector. Now, of course, the crop monitoring using satellite imaging in Nigeria has also led to improved crop yield prediction and disease detection, enhanced decision making for farmers and policymakers. I have also told you I wasn't directly involved in that project, but of course, it's a team that I've worked with in the past, and I see what they have done is they've been able to monitor the number of trees that they have planted within Lagos, and they've been able to identify when anything, anything has happened to these trees. They visit for intervention, and they realize the number of losses they have made as a result of anthropogenic encroachment on the part where they planted this tree. But in the real sense, we have seen a successful application, but of course it's growing, however, not at the rate at which it's been expected. Now, there are tools that are required for to actually engage in ensuring that that data analytics is employed totally within the agri sector. I have talked about the satellite imaging. An example is the Landsat, the Sentinel-2. I know a number of such satellite newly advanced satellite imaging already exists. Internet of Things sensor, such as soil moisture sensor, weather stations, growth sensors, to also monitor plant health and how these trees or how the plants or how the crops are responding to weather. Mobile-based platform, the Hello Tractor, the Agomore, the M-Farm, the Cocoa Cloud. These are also different tools, machine learning and artificial intelligence applications. One of the other projects that I'm aware is how they have deployed artificial intelligence to ensure that the health of the tree being planted is also monitored real time. And these are some of the advances that we have also we've seen in Nigeria, and I've also read about these in other parts of Africa. Now, the benefits, it goes beyond what we see here, and then what we can really begin to imagine, because it makes life easy. Let me use it that way. It makes life easy for farmer. At times you can monitor and watch this thing, watch your plant, watch your crop grow at the comfort of your home, and then enhance decision making. You can decide, okay, should we maybe send 2 people to wet the plant, or what time is it to harvest? So these are some of the benefits of employing data analytics in agriculture: increased efficiency and productivity, better risk management, and then reduced losses. And one of the key challenges of food security in Africa is the fact that over 33%, if not more now, of food produced in Africa goes into losses. And at some point have had to engage in discussions where if a revolution into circular economy would help transform these losses into some economic benefits. But in the real sense, if they had no losses, perhaps a number of things would have been better. And then we look at other ways to recycle byproducts, not as food. It improves market access and price negotiation. A number of times we have also been able to discuss farmers' access, product access to farm. For instance, the southwestern part of Nigeria still rely on tomato, pepper from the northern part of Nigeria, where a lorry would have to travel about 15 hours or 10 hours before it gets to the point. So you imagine what could have happened in transit. How about, and that's where finance becomes a big challenge here. Can we begin to also invest in code value chain that will enable that all of these get to destination with maybe minimal loss? And of course, other benefits. Profit is maximized within this space. Yeah, so implementing data analytics in your farm and organization. I mean, as agripreneurs, a number of us really want to hit it big and then get it on faster. But I think the first thing is, yeah, start small, right? And then as much as you don't want to take on all of the areas within the system or within the value chain that requires employing data, you need to identify specific ones and then with priority at the same time for improvement. Yes, many of us still like to work in silo. We want to deliver, we want to hit it big, but I kid you not, there is need for us to collaborate with those who are experts in it. So a number of DIY, do-yourself are available, but I think for real, there's need for us to collaborate and ensure that we get this done. Of course, invest in training and then capacity building for your team. One key thing that I've learned about learning and training is that for whatever it is that you have learned, nobody can take it away from you. So invest in training and capacity building for your team. And what it is that we're talking about today, I'm here to also learn from maybe some questions and then from my co-panelist who's here and from some of the things that you're going to be sharing within the chat box. So I'm here to learn, and learning never ends. So let us leverage on existing data sources, farm records, market data. Let us look out for on a daily basis or at some times or the other, look out for data that exist within your own segment of the agri value chain, and ensure that you keep them to heart and make good use of them. Organize sharing sessions amongst yourself and ensure that these are also in line with priorities for your organization. I don't know how much time I left, but I think I'm closer. So, I mean, how well will it be that you have this board in on your farm somewhere, and then you're able to calculate your yield, maximize the input, and then cross it out with output and see where your profit lies. This is achievable, and I think if we do it well, if we start small, we will be able to have an enhanced data-driven agri sector in Africa. So, I mean, this is one of, I mean, how happy do you think an African farmer would be like that you are on your farm with a note without threats of insecurity? And I think in most, some of our agri sub-Saharan African agri debt, we can have an agri farming system that is data-driven and, of course, with very, very maximized profit margin. Thank you. And then I look forward to this time with you. Asante sana.
Thank you so much, Mr. Boyga. And then I'm responding. They said if they say Asante Sana, I think it's still Asante Sana from me here too. So thank you so much for that was quite an insightful presentation. Like I already told participants of this call that they are in for a learning journey. And before we take questions with Mr. Boyga, we'll just move next to a second speaker so they can together you can ask your question. But while you're on the call, feel free to drop your questions. We'll still read it up for Mr. Boyga. He's still on the call. And then I'll be moving on to our second speaker for today. Okay. So our second speaker for today is Mr. Femi Adekoya. He is the founder of Integrated Aerial Precision, and then he's popularly known as the Flying Farmer. He's a visionary leader who has made remarkable contributions to the agricultural sector through his innovative agri-tech company. As the founder and managing director, Femi leverages drone technology and data analytics to advance sustainable farming practices, improve crop yields, and profitability for farmers. His exceptional work has benefited over 2,500 farmers, delivering climate-smart agriculture while contributing to food security. Femi's unwavering dedication and success has been widely recognized with numerous prestigious awards and accolades. He is the proud recipient of APNI Precision Agriculture Young Scientist Award, Orange Corner Innovation Fund winner, and the Royal African Award, to name but a few. He is an international thought leader and speaker on innovation and youth inclusion, whose voice has been heard on platforms such as the World Food Forum and the Committee of World Food Security, ICT for Ag, Africa Food Summit Dakar, too, amongst others. He's also the co-author of the best-selling book, Drone Professionals 3 on Amazon. Femi is a first-class graduate of agriculture from the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, and holds a master's degree in integrated pest management from Harper's Adams University, UK, which he obtained through the prestigious Commonwealth Scholarship. His ambition is to advance the adoption of digital and precision agriculture in Nigeria and across Africa through youth capacity building and access to drone and data technology. Ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding virtual clap, let's welcome Mr. Femi Adekoya to the virtual stage. It's great to have you, and we look forward to learning from you, sir.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the opportunity to share on this platform. And I want to say it is actually a great privilege. And I also want to say thank you to Mr. Boyega or Femi. I think we have the Femis doing the presentation today, right? All right. So really talking about, okay, let me see if I can share my screen. How many minutes do I have for this presentation so that I can know how quick I need to be? Rose, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. It should be 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh, 10 to 15 minutes, then there's no need for too much stories then. And I'm also glad that Mr. Boyega actually laid some very good foundation, talking about data analytics and how we employ data analytics in agriculture. Now, I know that we are actually in the 21st century, and data is actually king. You might have actually heard of that. You might also have heard of statement like data is the new oil. Now, you would then ask, as an agricultural professional or stakeholder, how do we then apply data? How do we employ data into agriculture? So how will be focusing more into the production aspect? Mr. Boyega, particularly, I think is a policy guy, so you've heard what do we need to do about data. So I don't need to actually go that route with my 10, 15 minutes. But I believe that with my 10 minutes or so thereabout, I can be able to share you practical ways where we can be able to leverage data analytics in agriculture, in your agricultural production particularly. So I am actually an agronomist by core profession and a plant health professional. So I'll be coming from that perspective. And so in the 21st century, let me see if I need to share my screen. Okay, let me try to share my screen. I want to actually see if I can quickly run through my presentation. So we are in the 21st century, and something striking about the 21st century, or when we say 21st century agriculture, it's something we actually call data. Data is actually important for us. And what is data? From my primary school, I understand that data is actually a raw fact. And how can we actually leverage these raw facts in our production? Okay. So how can we actually leverage this raw fact in our production, agricultural production particularly? And this is actually the crux of this presentation or webinar per se. How can we use the data, or where are the sources of data particularly for us to actually use? In the factors of production, we know that we have land, labor, and capital, and also the entrepreneur. And something very critical to be added to these factors of production, and particularly for the entrepreneur to be able to maximize the earlier mentioned factors like land, labor, and capital, is actually information. And information, for us to actually gather information, we actually need data, which are facts. So how can we then process these facts to get information that can help us to make sense of our production? Information is actually key, right? So now, I just thought to actually mention this. I also lead the vision, and I'm the head of training at Precision Feed Academy. This is actually where we train people on, precision agriculture generally, making you be one of the leaders and players in the precision agriculture industry. So now that I've mentioned precision agriculture is actually a form of agriculture where we manage the farm. It's a farm management concept that you can actually use to gather data, process it, and analyze temporal or spatial data, combining them together to actually be able to make management decision, according to variability that you actually found on your field. Now, don't forget, I said I'm going to be focusing on production. So I believe Mr. Boyega has actually mentioned some of the things around data for markets, data for policy, and all that. So, but for us to actually achieve precision agriculture, you better have actually heard from my definition that you begin to get data. And data analytics particularly, which is the focus of this presentation, it is actually how we examine this data, how we clean it, and how we transform it to be able to extract trends, pattern. And what I'm saying here is actually insight, information that can actually help us to actually take decision. And that is actually data analytics. And before we actually begin analyzing data, we actually need to actually collect data. We need to collect data particularly. So, and we have data everywhere, particularly on the field, on the farm. Soil data, environmental data such as weather pattern, such as soil moisture, soil temperature, your crop health, particularly. You also want to collect data about your plant population. There are a lot of data points, a lot of data sources. And how can we actually collect this data? And this is where we then begin to talk about technology. Okay, so oftentimes people actually misdefine, or in trying to define precision agriculture, they say, oh, it is actually the application of technology. And no, precision agriculture is actually a management concept that involves the gathering, processing, and analyzing of several forms of data. All right. Data, when we use the word data, it can be ambiguous. We can be specific to say temporal data, spatial data, individual data, or forms of data, images, numbers, so on and so forth. So, but how can we actually put all of these data together to actually be able to make sense of it? So I digress. So now back to data analytics. We can be able to, I was saying that collection of data, we can be able to collect data with remote sensing platforms. Let me just move straight to this. So components of precision agriculture. So like GNSS, these are actually GPS, Galileo, and all these global navigation satellite systems for us to actually collect precise data, satellite imagery, soil moisture, and all of the stuff that you may have actually heard of, particularly drones, particularly can also actually be a data collection tool for you on the field. Now, what do we do when we actually analyze data? We want to actually ensure that you want to actually practice precision agriculture or precision farming. You want to ensure that you want to apply, you want to have the information to be able to apply what you need to apply at the right time. You want to actually take management decisions, even to your harvesting, right? So that is actually what data analytics would actually mean, particularly. And the objective of this is to actually ensure that we are actually optimizing production, or ensuring that we are actually making the best use of our production. Okay, I will stop sharing this because I want to actually, like I said, I want to make it practical. So just to give you an experience of how I, as a precision agriculture specialist, then use drone data as a focus to be able to apply this in agriculture for farmers. In what way? What insights can we actually generate for farmers when we actually help them collect data on the field, either with drones or satellite imagery? And it is also another something important I want us to actually take from this for my presentation is that data analytics can also mean integration of these data together from different sources. Okay, satellite imagery. How can I make satellite imagery with drone data or soil sensor, or perhaps weather data to be able to know when to plant, when to do my proper irrigation, where to apply fertilizer, or perhaps I want to estimate yield, and I will actually show you that as I actually quickly do a quick demo on the screen. Let me find that. I'm trying to share. Okay. Oh. I don't know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, you can see. I'm not sure. Okay, just a minute, please. I'm having a discussion here. Awkward. Okay, you can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so thank you very much for your response. So this is actually a few from the screen. This is actually a data analytics platform. Okay, a data analytics platform where I examine my drone data. I've actually gone to your field as a farmer, or you as a farmer, you actually have a drone that is able to help you collect data. And data in this regard can actually be your RGB data. Your RGB data, similar to your phone, just like you can see on the screen. You're right, the colorful data, and it could actually be multispectral sensor data, particularly. So, when I collect all of this data, images particularly. So, when I say data here in this context, it means images on your field. How can I let them process them to actually achieve give you insight, or as a farmer myself, to be able to get insight from these feeds? So this is actually a field of wheat, and then it's a feed of wheat. So this is actually what I call auto mosaic. And basically, so when I actually fly your field, this is how it would be or look like. Let's just take, for example, this is an example of a field. This is a 2D of your farm. And let me just focus on the farm only. So all these that you can see, right? This is the farm I want you to focus on, the green area. Okay. So all of that are actually satellite imagery. And this is how we integrate satellite imagery and data. So every field that is not green, it's not actually where I'm focusing on. So I can actually zoom in into the farm, and I can actually see details of what is actually going on the field. Like it's an arable crop. Okay. So I can see visual image of what is actually going on. Okay. It looks like if I zoom in the more, you can be able to see what is on ground. This will give you a sense of plant population on your field. this is actually what you are doing when you call data analytics. It gives a sense of what's the plant population like, which side of the farm is actually low. This place is a track of tractor walking on the field. Now, so you can be able to get a clear imagery of what is actually ongoing on the field. Now, what else can I actually do with this data, with this auto mosaic that I have? I can also get the elevation map of the farm. That's because I have been able to, go to the farm with my drone, and I want to understand so this elevation map particularly, it's actually represented in colors, but you will see that this point of the field, to the left, I don't know if it is to the left to you, this left side of the field, or the southwest side of the field, and the northeast side of the field. So this is the highest. The southwest side of the field is actually the highest point, and that would tell us that when it rains, water moves from this point down to this place. When it also rains, there is a higher likelihood that nutrient moves from this highest point down to this place. So what do I do? It informs me what do I do to actually control erosion if I would actually be tackling erosion. What do I do to actually ensure that my nutrients are not being washed away? Or perhaps how do I actually bond the farm particularly? So I'll move away from there. That's part of the data analytics. That's part of the insights that you would like to actually understand as a farmer. If you want to also do irrigation on your farm, you will not want to actually situate or pump against the slope, right? You want to actually pump. If you're actually using drip irrigation, you want to actually pump towards the slope, right? So this actually the information you actually need without even going to the farm. Providing you this data as a farm owner. Maybe you have a farm manager on the field. You can be able to understand the land terrain particularly, and that is actually an example of data analytics, how it is being used. Okay, so this is the feed boundary. I want to actually confirm how many hectares do I have. So you see this white line across the field, right? So I can be able to confirm how many hectares do I actually have on the field, right? So this can actually give me that information. Would shut down. So particularly, and I can actually create annotations. For example, I can create annotation about scouting. I can actually put, particularly for this area, this dot that you see here, I can actually give you the GPS coordinate of that point and actually send it to the manager on ground or the supervisor on ground to actually walk down there to actually be able to know what we call ground truthing. So, and examine what is going on there. I can be able to say, oh, I think there are weeds over here, particularly around this coordinate. I think there is nematode infestation here, or something is actually wrong, which I don't exactly have an idea, but I know something is wrong. And I can actually send somebody down to the field, or myself walking down to the field and be able to pinpoint what is actually the problem, or do further examination through ground truthing and be able to know the problem. I can be able to do that exactly. So if the particular area of the field is actually bushy, it is actually diseased, or it is a hotspot of pests, I can actually mark it out and annotate it. Get the dimension of the land. As you can see on the field, you can see 0.13 hectares for this blue area, which has been marked, and 0.16 hectares for this red area, which have been marked. I can actually tell you that because this red area that has been marked, it shows low plant population there. If you look at it, it's not green. Okay. And I'm trying to rush through this. I believe that you are enjoying the presentation already. Okay. Let me quickly move to. Okay. Move to analytics. I see I have one more feed to show, which we actually collected data on. So let me just be fast with that so that you can be able to appreciate what we mean by precision agriculture or data analytics in farm production. Okay, so I want to actually examine plant health. So let me do that zoom into the farm so that you can be able to get more details. I want to actually do plant health. analytics of the field. So it's actually loading. I hope it actually loads fast. Yeah. Now, if you, from the elevation data that we have earlier, so you can see when I talk about integrating these maps, data together, be it map, be it imagery and all that, you will see that why is the higher point of the field red and the lowest point of the field is actually green, and they were actually planted at the same time, by the way. So you can, because you can see, you can be able to think maybe as an agronomist and begin to make queries that will initiate your scouting with precision. So now with data analytics helping us in precision agriculture, we can bring precision into agriculture, right? Or in agriculture, we can bring precision into agriculture. Why did I say that? If you want to actually go to the field to actually scout, you are not going to be rambling around or trying to move around randomly, but you are going to actually be going to the field or the point of the field with precision, knowing where you are going particularly. So this can give you that overview and that you actually require. So you can see that the green area of the field is actually reflecting very well when it comes to vegetation indices that we have actually done. So, and this is actually low. So it's telling us that it actually requires a better attention, rather. It requires attention. But what attention? You want to actually then go on the field to actually scout and see or use the data to find out. So you can also generate what I call prescription map. Now, and this is where precision agriculture is, or what we call variable rate application. So prescription map is very important when we talk about variable rate application. So variable rate application is you actually applying agrochemicals or agro inputs, chemical, organic, whatever substance you want to actually apply with variability of the field in mind, knowing that, oh, you know that this side of the field is not doing well compared to this side. Therefore, you are not supposed to give the same quantity of input or treatment to the field. So this is actually where this data analytics actually helps us, right? So I've been able to, using a 10 by 10 meter grid, have been able to partition the farm into zones, or what I call cells, homogeneous units. If you see different colors, so if it is actually yellow, it means that I'm going to be applying the same quantity of X treatment in that area because they are of the same condition, right? So if it is green, I might not need to worry, right, about anything particularly. So please note what I said. I said might not need to worry. So it can actually be reverse. It might be that, oh, where I see that is doing well, I need to actually give maybe a treatment, a better treatment to that place, because maybe that is where you are going to get more money. Maybe where it is actually low performing, if you actually give fertilizers there, you might be wasting your fertilizer. So this is why you need an agronomist, or an agronomist needs to actually have this understanding. So I will quickly move to the second example. I know my time is wrapping up. So the second example is actually on the garbage field. This is actually another field for you. If I zoom in very well, you will be able to see. So these are garbage planted at different times. I need to actually state that, but on the same field. You will see that some are actually mature than another from the area view, I mean, from the broad view. So you can see their cabbages, they are still going. They are yet to actually form heads, but I want to actually show this as an example to you. And I want to actually go beyond. There's a reason why I'm actually showing this example. Now, so this is the automosaic of the field. Automosaic means a 2D dimension, of map of the field, just like you can see on the screen. Now, I can actually go to, so I've shown you feed boundaries, annotation and all that. So I want to actually show something very spectacular here. Okay, so I did not, the last time I showed plant health. So I want to actually focus on the use of AI in data analytics in agriculture. So how can we actually employ, Mr. Boyga also mentioned artificial intelligence. So this is just to actually show you a practical view of how we actually leverage artificial intelligence as a tool in data analytics, or as a tool we employ in data analytics for agricultural production. So I want to actually count the numbers of garbages on the field. How do I do that? You know that if you want to do and this is what we call farm inventory, your ability to be able to access. Okay, I'll be wrapping up now. So your ability to be able to quickly access how many plants you have on the field, what is the so number of so and so, this will help you to estimate your yield. This will help you to get you informed about the market. If you actually have so number of head of cabbages, you would know before time, you will be able to have negotiation power. You know that in the next 2 weeks, I am harvesting these sizes of cabbages. I can count the numbers of cabbages I have and the size of the cabbages, right? So I will be able to show you that now as a wrap up. So just watch the screen. So this is as we've actually been able to train. I've trained this already to actually be able to count this field. So, and this is actually the result. So, and it's not only identifying the garbages on the field, right? It's not only identifying, let me zoom in better. And go to the middle. Okay, so you can be able to see different colors. I'm going to explain that, but it's able to help you identify where there are garbages, plants, particularly. Two, it's also helping you grade, even before you harvest, grade into sizes in diameter. What's the diameter of these plants? And to tell you how they are growing, right? So I mentioned that you will see that one side of the field has more of the blue, right? More of the blue plants on the field. And that's because they are actually wider in diameter, all right? So and we can be able to count. So on this, on average per hectare, we are able to have almost 17,500 plants per hectare from our count. And we're able to sort it out into different sizes, even before you harvest, right? So we can be able to know this, not only about harvest, or even your management practices. What do you have to do to actually increase those who are actually slow growing? Or even if you are actually harvesting, you can be informed beforehand your market and giving you negotiation power, because you are not just harvesting like, oh, this is the number of stock that we have. It's massive. Oh, how do I sell it, right? And then you'll be at the mercy of the middleman or whatever client that you're actually discussing with. So that would actually be a way that data analytics could actually be of help to us. So I would actually say thank you so much for listening. Yeah, your questions. Thank you so much. I think I'm done with my presentation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Femi. Like I can see Mr. Boyega cracking already. I have learned a lot, and then I'm certain that our participants on the call would see how this is quite applicable. I'm already seeing Sunday saying this is mind-blowing. Thank you, Mr. Femi. Please drop in your key takeaway. What did you learn from Mr. Boyega's presentation and also Mr. Femi's presentation? And then we are open to taking in questions. So if you have any question, you want more clarity, please do well to raise up your hand and I will call you up to ask your questions. And if you would prefer to type into the chat box, please do well to do that. So while we're waiting in for questions or feedbacks, I can see Blaze is saying this is amazing, wonderful implementation, insightful delivery. This is very beautiful, very insightful. I'm seeing Kamoto is saying you make agriculture look attractive and more enjoyable. Okay, so we have Mbe Omakuye. I hope I'm calling your name right. If I'm not, I'm really sorry. Kindly unmute yourself and go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, good evening. Good evening. Okay, yeah, it's just evening. Wow, wow, wow. This is awesome. Thank you so much, Messiahs. A lot of Femi and Femi, you have done great jobs tonight. I mean, I've been in the agribusiness space, but I mean, your deliveries have made it sound so sweet, so fascinating, you know. So what I want to find out, because when Mr. Femi, the second speaker, was talking, he said precision agriculture is actually being misconstrued by some people. So I want to ask, where do we place greenhouse technology? Is not going to fall under precision agri, one. Then if we have to, like the mapping and all that, how can one be able to access or assess what goes on inside greenhouse if you're using satellite imagery and all that? So that's two questions in one. Where does greenhouse agri technology fall under, and then how can one achieve this precision, or what do you call it, imagery and all that, to know about the plant health and every other thing about the plants? Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if I can answer the question or we receive all the questions.
You can go ahead and answer the question.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your question. And I'm actually the country representative for precision agriculture, International Society for Precision Agriculture in Nigeria. And it is actually one of my duties to actually quickly, explain what precision agriculture really means, because our mission is to actually put precision agriculture in action, particularly with my own focus in Africa. And where does greenhouse technology lies? Because this is actually, let me answer you straight. It is actually, I will classify it mostly on climate smart agriculture. Okay. So it's a climate smart agriculture, and the component of climate smart or precision agriculture can actually also fulfill the objective of climate adaptation and mitigation. Because if you know where to actually, you've used drones to actually collect data and analyze the data, you can be able to know where do I need to actually apply the right quantity of water, the right quantity of fertilizer, and all of these, if you can manage water, it is actually being climate smart. If you can be able to reduce the amount of fertilizer used, because if you are using fertilizer on the field, it takes amount of huge energy to be able to produce the fertilizer. So if we are able, or fossil fuel particularly, which is contributing to destruction of the ozone layer, right? So if you are able to reduce that, so that's the fact. But you can also integrate precision agriculture into your greenhouse farming or greenhouse technology structure, right? You will see some greenhouses have automated irrigation system, and it can be able to give precise amount of water for different crops or a different region of the field. So it depends on how you actually integrate all of these things together, but it comes first with understanding what this technology means and what they can actually do for you. Number two question, as regards how to do the map and actually analyze and get information. Yeah, you can always get started with I don't know. You can get started with us at Precision Feed Academy. That's what I can say. And because you need to actually learn and equip yourself with a tool, we mentioning drones, satellites, and all of this. So you need to actually collect the data. If you want to leverage on drone technology, you acquire drone technology. You analyze the data, you collect, process it, turn it into a map, and then analyzing it with advanced software that can give you these insights. So I think that's the way I can answer your question. I'm always open to after the call to have your question. I can share my email in the chat box. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Femi. I can see a question by Gidado Mohammed. So I'll throw this question to Mr. Goiga. He said, how do you apply technology in how can you apply technology in livestock production, particularly he mentioned cattle, sheep, and camel.
Okay, thank you for that question. I was trying to scroll through, but I didn't. Okay, yeah, cattle, sheep, camel, etc. So, now these are how do I categorize this type of animals? And these are animals that if they are trained, they know how to assess their food, how to assess their meals. So technology will be in the sense that whether you already have an established yard or for them. So what then happens is at what point did they feed, and then maybe in the mixture of the water content of the water consumption, what makes up the water mix, and then at what point. So I've seen piggery farms. I haven't seen or I've not seen cattle, sheep, camel ranch with water taps, but I've seen piggery that at a certain time the water start gushing out, and then the pigs then rush to have water. Or some of them also have there's also a dedicated tap that are also at piggeries that I have seen. So anytime they really want to drink water, once they click their mouth, then water flows. So I mean, there are various ways that these things can actually be done. I wouldn't know the kind of practice you're currently engaged in, but if you have a ranch, I think once this ranch is set up, you can employ technology in dispensing their meals and water, and at the same time have a system in place that would also help with maybe immunization and the like. So there are a whole lot of, depending on what setup that you already have in place. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Boyka, for the response. So I'll be calling on Oluwatosin. Kindly unmute yourself and ask your question.
Can everybody hear me, please? Good afternoon.
Yes, we can hear you.
Lovely presentation, Mr. Femi Adekoya. I just have a question, and it's directed towards how does small scale agriculture benefit from precision agriculture? And what is the international body doing to make small scale agriculture benefit and participate in this agriculture, putting into consideration that the small scale agriculture most times affects the direct users? Because when we talk about the large scale agriculture, the industries are the ones that benefit mostly down here in Nigeria. So the small scales are the one that actually feeds us most times. How do they benefit from precision agriculture, please, Mr. Femi? Thank you, Lord.
Yeah. All right. That's actually a very good question, and it's a critical question that that's actually important. Smallholder farmers can actually benefit from precision agriculture, and depending on the technology that is available to them. And like I said, that precision agriculture is not first about the technology. It's about understanding the concept of this technology. How do we manage the variability on our field? Variability in terms of topography, variability in terms of the crop, variability in terms of maybe weather, maybe microclimates, particularly. That's what I mean. So how can we actually manage this? And of course, drones are actually an extension of what God has given to us with our eyes, right? So God has given us a remote sensing tool, which is actually our eyes. And so understanding the concept is very important. Now, I actually didn't go this into my presentation clearly because of time. The use of smartphone is actually becoming important, and amongst farmers and even small farmers, use of smartphone to actually be able to map the boundaries of the field, digitizing the boundaries of the field, use of smartphone to be able to acquire satellite imagery, and helping you to be able to know the variabilities on the farm. You can be able to, as a smallholder farmers, you can be able to leverage on that. And also talking about soil sensor, maybe you have 1 hectare or 2 hectares, particularly, you can be able to leverage on these decentralized technology, particularly, and then be able to collect data, because precision agriculture is about collection of this data to be able to assess variability on the field, and then be able to make decision and take action that can actually help your farm. As small as your phone is, or it is smartphone, that it is smartphone for a reason. You can be able to collect the GPS coordinates of some points on the field as a smallholder farmers. And I can actually be able to report this to my agronomist. Okay, I have scouted this area of the farm, and this is actually what is wrong. You send the coordinates to another person. These are actually ways that we can actually leverage these technologies to be able to achieve the concept of precision agriculture. Yeah, I'm not sure that my time here can be able to exhaust all that I want to say, particularly, but I believe I've been able to answer a little bit. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Isafemi. I believe Oluwatosin would reach out to you. You've dropped your contact details, and he would be sure to get much more information. So my next question is to Mr. Kwega. I can see a question from Caroline from Kenya. She says cattle rearing, especially through zero grazing, contributes to methane emissions in the atmosphere. How can climate smart agriculture address these emissions?
All right. I was almost sending, thank you, Caroline, for that question. I was almost sharing some text as feedback to the question. Because, I mean, zero grazing, really, that means the owner of such an enterprise is also deliberate. So in order to also reduce methane emission, it means that what goes into their feed, the quality of the feed also determines what also, I mean, what the excreta looks like. And of course, how are they able to evacuate? How fast are they evacuating their excreta? And of course, manure management. So when you pick up the composting manure, you need to be able to manage it properly to also be sure that these are not escaping into the atmosphere. I tell you, when you look at the essence of meat as source of protein, and then you look at the methane angle, you then want to confirm, should we really care to eat meat at all? So I'm sure some party lovers will not want you to dabble into that comparison. But what is important for me really, this is the feed management, and of course how you maintain the composting. That would be my key responses to that. The other aspect of that, perhaps the owner of such enterprise can then also engage in some aspect of tree planting as a way of offsetting and then reducing its emission in that line. So there are so many dimensions into managing these things, and of course, technology is bringing some of these things closer to us. And I really don't want to go into whether carbon offset or emission offset. That is still very, very complex. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I can see our last question is from Adenike Adekweji. Adenike, please kindly unmute yourself and ask your question.
All right, good afternoon. Thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. I'll go very direct on my question, and it is that I have smallholder farmers within 600 to 1,000 of them in different regions. And we've been trying to find a smart way of collecting data in the line of how you've explained it. What would you recommend as a form of solution that is existing already that we can use to capture all this data? We've already started for the year. We're able to gather the data single-handedly. Maybe we have the technology for land measurement separately. We have the one for planting separately. How do we have maybe an enhanced platform that can gather all the data for us at once? Would you have any recommendation in practical terms? Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. I think I'll just go. Your question is actually very brilliant and practical. I know that there are limitations to many things that we have actually said today, and we must be actually be factual about that. The fragmentation of our, of our farming system could actually be one of the limitations as to how we can actually leverage current and existing technology. But I think you've actually done very well with the technologies you said you've actually begun to apply, land measurement and all of these. And you're actually asking now you can actually bring a platform that can bring all of this together. I cannot actually say this is that particular platform because I do not actually know a platform that I can say can collect every of the data, right? Every of the data, because when we use the word data oftentimes, it's actually in context. What kind of data are we talking about here, particularly? So weather data, satellite data, perimeter boundary data, and so on and so forth, soil data, right? So I'm still also looking at for that super amazing platform, that we can actually bring all of this data together. But that, for example, what I showed you the other time, a platform I showed you the other time, I have a way of integrating satellite data and drone data, and also even weather data, together for us to actually make sense. And I can also say perimeter data because we can use what we call a digitized perimeter boundary, what we call KML or shapefile of the boundary and import. And that's what you can see where I showed feed boundary. That was what we used to create that. So, but the fragmentation of farms sometimes can actually be a limitation. But I know there are platforms. It's just a matter of we creating it that can actually suit your purpose. And you can be able to track different activities on different regions of, where you have your farms around the country or the state particularly. So that's how I'm going to actually answer that question. I cannot recommend particularly, but we can keep looking out for such platforms that can help you integrate all of this together. Or perhaps we can also talk after this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Femi. So I think Adenike, please reach out to Mr. Femi for a more detailed conversation and consultation for how you can find a platform that can take up all that. I'm seeing Wana is saying first map of your, okay, that's a comment. So thank you so much. Before we let our amazing speakers go, I would like everyone, we usually do it at the end of the event, but these are busy people and they want to take our time to do other things and we don't want to keep them till the end of the engagement. So I would ask that we kindly turn on our camera so we can take a family picture, is what we call it here at AFC. Picture. Please kindly turn your Mr. Boyega and Femi are already picture ready. So turn on your cameras so we can take a picture. Ensure you screenshot it from your end and then write to them, write on LinkedIn, use key takeaways you learned from today. Ensure you post them, tag them and say, oh, I learned this, I was at this event, I learned this from Mr. Boyega, this was my takeaway from Mr. Femi. So why thank you so much. I'm seeing Stephen, Alan, Muna, Jokers, their cameras are on. So team members, kindly help us take a screenshot from your end. And so like we say it when we take pictures, I would like everybody to say cheese. Let's smile, please. Thank you. I can see your smiling face, Blaze. Well done, thumbs up. Thank you so much, Mr. Boyega and Mr. Femi. It was a privilege having you here. And we look forward to having you in more sessions where we go in deeper into precision farming and data analytics and also climate smart farming. Thank you so much for your time. So we'll be moving on to next segment of the event of our conversation. Allow me to share my screen. Okay, so we won't allow you go from today without actually connecting with AFC. This event is one of the many things we do at AFC, and then believe me, the insight and then the knowledge you have gained from today would go a long way in boosting your agribusinesses. So we have a number of such events, but then I'll be calling up our membership officer, Nusa Obano, who would be taking you deeper into what it means to be with be part of our membership community. Nusa, please kindly confirm you are ready to go.
Yes, Anna, thank you so much. And if you can hear me, please confirm that you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you. So a great appreciation to our guest speakers, Femi and Goyega and Sir Femi, for giving all this insightful presentation. I've really learned a lot. Data is king, and someone that is ready to learn is also ready to impact. Thank you so much, everyone. And I'll be taking us on the membership drive. But before I start, I want those of us in this place who are already members should also indicate in the chat box that I am a change maker, so I can know which audience I'm referring to. If I remember our community, please indicate on the chat box that you are a member with AFC community and you are a change maker. Thank you. Thank you, Sunday Oduyemi, our new change maker for AFC community. So over to those of us that are not yet members of the community, I will sadly say you are missing out on a lot. We have a membership community where entrepreneurs in the African food landscape are able to connect with each other, share ideas and share opportunities, and also network on how they can improve and scale their businesses. So the AFC community is open to entrepreneurs across Africa, from primary producers down to processors, to food aggregators, and to chefs and cooks, those in the social media space as well. And at AFC, our mission is to see that entrepreneurs in Africa are doing amazingly well with their businesses, and we try as much as possible to build their capacity in helping them scale their businesses. So part of the benefits we offer to our entrepreneurs include to strengthen their businesses and scale their businesses. We also prepare agri-food entrepreneurs to enter new markets and global markets in Africa by implementing some programs that are targeted on exporting, programs on climate change, programs on creating their feasibility as well. And we are also keen at referring our entrepreneurs to funding opportunities, to speaking engagement, and also creating that visibility for them in terms of events and exhibition opportunities. Another aspect where we offer visibility to our members is through global market linkages and through social media promotions and engagements. We also refer our entrepreneurs to exclusive networking events where they can network in day rooms and also engage with strictly invited event showcase as well. And we also have a vibrant community of entrepreneurs where they can leverage peer-to-peer support and knowledge sharing as well. And as I've talked about in the membership benefits, now I'm going to focus on how the non-members in this call can become a member of our community. Please, next slide. Thank you. So our first step of becoming a member of our community is to always follow AFC or visit our websites. We have a designated website, www.afc.org, where entrepreneurs interested in joining the community of change makers can navigate and see our activities and see what opportunities we offer. When you click on the website, my colleague should drop the website on the chat box. And once you click on that website, you'll be taken to a designated page where you see our activities, our programs, our impact reach, and also our network. And for non-members, you'll be taken to a page where you see the join the community icon. And for members who are already members of our community, you also see the login page where you can log into your dashboard and access other membership benefits to the dashboard. But focusing on the non-members, you click on the join the community and you'll be taken to a page where you'll be asked a few questions about your business and your personal information including your name, email, country, and your focus area. Then once you've clicked on those, you repeated all those information, you should don't forget to click on the submit icon. The submit icon automatically gives us a notification that a new sign up has been made, and we review it from our end, and you receive a confirmation email after 24 to 48 hours to notify you that you've become a member of our community. And once you've been notified that you're a member of the community, we always indulge that you update your profile. You update your profile so we can get necessary information, the additional information needed for us to verify your membership status. When you want to sign up, we request for limited questions or limited information because we want the sign up process to be fast. But once you've been verified, you have to still update your profile. When I mean update your profile, you update your settings from your membership dashboard on the types of company, your company details, company information, so as to help us in knowing when we want to reach out for opportunities for you. We can efficiently get data that we need from your information provided. And our membership status is open to entrepreneurs who own or work as top management for an agribusiness. Either you're a farm manager, either you're a CEO, you are the co-founder of the business. And also, an additional one is that your agribusiness must be in existence for at least 6 months before joining the AFC community, or before signing up, rather. Then the last one is you should have a social media presence or a website where we can see the activities of what you are doing in the agri-food space, and you can tell more to what you provided as a form of information, social media handle. Another reason why we request for social media handle or a social media page is that we offer a lot of visibility to our entrepreneurs in terms of social media marketing, in terms of live events, in terms of IG live interview stories, online marketing as well, and the marketplace. So please, next slide. Thank you. So I will talk more at the marketplace. This is one of the reasons why we ask our entrepreneurs who are willing to become members of our community to always impute a social media handle or a website where potential clients or customers can get to them directly. So as a member, you have a page on your dashboard where you can upload your members' products. You can upload your products, you can upload your service, because not all our members are into the processing space. Some of them provide services. That marketplace is for you. What you have to do is just to impute some details about your product or service that you render, the picture, the details, the price, where a potential buyer can also get to contact you on the buy item. So once you fill those details on your membership dashboard, what you just need to do is to click on submit, and it reflects on the website. And once that will be reflected on the website, any visitor visiting the website can easily navigate to the marketplace, and if they're interested in your products, can definitely further engage with you on the marketplace feature. Having said this, we also offer different opportunities for our members, including programs. So far, we have the RACE program, which is focused on climate change. So we indulge entrepreneurs who are really interested in learning more about the climate space, how they can use climate smart practices on their agricultural business, and also leverage learnings and networking in terms of the climate space. That program is for you, and it's ongoing and it's closing soon. So we indulge that our members who are interested in that program should apply for that. And also a scaling export program, which is focusing on exporting. That is also in the pipeline. And once the call for application is out, we would also share with our members to fill and learn more about exporting. And okay, this is more on the RACE program, and we enjoy that people that are interested in this should also apply. Thank you so much. I'm done, and I'll wait questions from other entrepreneurs. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nosa. I can see about 2 people have their hands raised. Miriam, you can kindly unmute and ask your question.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I want to appreciate this community, Africa, is it AFC? Okay, yeah, AFC for this organizing this program. I think I've been receiving mails from this organization for a very long time, but because my business idea, I have a business idea on food processing. That was since 2020. I have this idea and I've been trying to develop it, but because of funding, I've not been able to get the business to a start. It has actually not started, but the business idea has been there, and I wish I can start that business. So I don't know. That's why I don't have a website for it, and I don't have, though I have a registered company for another business. So but I don't know if it's acceptable for me to log in with that same registered company, because I've been trying to log in into the community, to register into the community this thing, and it's not giving me the opportunity, probably because I don't have the website for this business, for the food business, and I don't have social media platform for it. I don't know if there's anything that can be done about that.
Okay, thank you so
I
much,
really want to
Miriam.
be part of, yeah, I really want to be part of this community and see if there are ways I can learn and see how to move the business idea I have to the next, because I have a lot of questions. If I can get more suggestions and opinion from maybe from your organization from time, maybe that can help me also in making sure that this business idea is being developed and get to the point I want it to get to.
Yeah, thank you so much, Miriam. So I would also like to ask a question that the company that I said you have the CAC document, is it an agri-related company or is it separate, is in a separate sector? And Miriam, are you there?
Okay, so I think her network has lagged off because she's out. So probably her network. Hopefully she comes up and then she's able to answer the question. But Adenike, Adenike has a question, but I think she dropped it in the chat box. And Nosa has asked that you send an email, or I hope I'm not mixing it up. I see you already asked the question that it is been difficult for you to log into the page. My colleague will drop our WhatsApp number and you can contact him and he would guide you step by step on how to access your login page. And Miriam, can you respond to the question Lusa asked? Then we'll move on to the next aspect of the event. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, I actually, network actually cut me off. So I didn't get the question.
No,
Is
so
it in the chat?
No, I wanted to clarify why you were asking the question. You mentioned that you also have the first one is you have an idea, an business idea which you have not yet started. And you mentioned that you have a company that you already have. So I was asking if that particular company that is already in existence, is it an agri-related company or is it in another sector?
It's in another sector, not in agri.
Okay, so what I would suggest from my hand is that our membership is actually open to entrepreneurs in the agri-food space who are started already, but notwithstanding, we have people who are not yet into the business but always want to learn, because we are like a capacity hub, a digital hub for learning. So we have people that subscribe to our newsletters. You can always get information from our newsletters. You can always access our AFC sites that is open to everyone. You can always get opportunities on the websites. But in terms of the membership status, we would most likely is not open yet because we don't meet the criteria following what you just explained. you have to have an agri business that is in the agri space. It also has to be in existence because you want to scale your business. But since it's still in the ideal stage, you can always reach out to the team, or you can always follow up and follow us on social media or on follow our newsletter, subscribe to our newsletter to get information on how you can move that ideal stage into reality. So once it becomes a reality, you are open to become a member of our community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Nosa, for your response. So we'll be moving. This brings us to the last segment of our event, actually. But before we let you go, we'd love to encourage you to join our community of entrepreneurs from over 43 African countries. Share your feedback on ways. We're always open to receiving your feedback. So share your feedback. You can send an email to membership@afc.org or info@afc.org and ask questions if you need help, and also give us feedback on how to improve. Please, and then you can be encouraged to also follow our African Food Change Makers on our social media platforms to stay up to date with our programs. On LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, we are the African Food Change Makers, and on X, which is formerly Twitter, we are the D_AFC Hub. And feel free to also subscribe to our newsletters where you receive up-to-date latest opportunities within the agri-food sector. So a big thank you to everyone who has been part of this edition of First Thursdays. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your engagement. Thank you for your participation. We really cherish this, and we are thrilled and always privileged to have you in our midst. Stay tuned for information regarding the edition for August. It promises to be quite an insightful experience. Also, we would always bring you topics that are relatable and practical ideas and knowledge that you can implement into your agribusiness. So until we meet again next month and on the same platform, I wish you an amazing week, an amazing rest of the day, and asante sana. Have a great day.